All right. Tater Tot Casserole. We're going to deep dive into that today.
Sounds delicious.
It really does. Just the name, It just makes me think of like warm, cheesy goodness.
Yeah.
So we've got this podcast recipe,
Okay.
and it's a classic one. It uses ground beef.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to go beyond just the steps.
Right.
We really want to know, like, what's the secret sauce here?
Yeah. What makes this recipe tick?
Exactly. What makes it so beloved, Why is it so popular?
Right away, what jumps out at me is that it's all about, like, efficiency.
Yeah.
The source material talks about, weeknight dinners, a breeze.
Mm-hmm.
So it's clearly aimed at people who are busy, but they still want to make a home-cooked meal.
I see that. And they say quick and easy over and over again.
Yes.
Is it really that quick, though?
That's a good question.
Like, what are the tricks to saving time?
Well, there are definitely some smart time-saving techniques.
Okay.
One thing is they have you brown the ground beef and the veggies together in the same pan.
Oh, that's good.
So that cuts down on cooking time.
Right.
And also,
Less cleanup. Always a plus.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And then there's also the use of pre-made ingredients,
Okay.
like canned soup and frozen tater tots.
Right.
So it's more about like assembling than really starting from scratch.
That makes sense, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So they've already done some of the work for you?
Exactly.
Okay. But even with those shortcuts, it still sounds delicious.
Oh, yeah.
They use descriptions like, velvety blanket for the sauce
Mhm.
and crispy and golden brown for the tater tots.
Oh, yeah.
I'm getting hungry just thinking about it.
Me too.
What is it about that sensory language that's so powerful?
Well, it's not just about sounding good.
Okay.
It actually like plays a big part in how we experience the food.
Really?
Yeah. When you hear velvety, your brain starts to think about that smooth, creamy texture,
Okay.
and then crispy and golden brown makes you crave that crunch.
So it gets you ready for the experience.
Yeah, exactly. And this ties into the whole psychology of comfort food.
Mm.
Tater tot casserole. It's warm,
Yeah.
it's cheesy, and it's got those textures that we find comforting.
Right. It really hits the spot.
It does. It really taps into that desire for satisfying food.
And speaking of cheesy,
Yes,
let's talk cheese.
the star of the show, right?
Absolutely.
They don't skimp on the cheese in this recipe at all.
Not at all.
Cheddar on top, and they even call it a gooey, cheesy masterpiece.
Love it.
Why is cheese like the ultimate comfort food ingredient? Is it more than just the taste?
There's a lot going on scientifically with cheese.
Okay,
So cheese is packed with these compounds like casein
okay.
and glutamate, and they trigger the release of dopamine in the brain.
Interesting.
And dopamine is a neurotransmitter that makes us feel good.
So our brains are wired to love cheese.
It seems like it. We're hardwired to crave that cheesy goodness.
Wow, that's fascinating. What about culturally, though? Like, why do we associate cheese with comfort food?
Yeah, cheese brings up feelings of warmth,
Mm-hmm.
indulgence, even nostalgia sometimes.
Great.
Think about classic comfort foods.
Grilled cheese, mac and cheese.
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
Those are really powerful associations
Yeah,
that make a dish like tater tot casserole even more appealing.
that makes a lot of sense. For me, when I smell melted cheddar, I always think of my grandma's kitchen.
Ah.
It's amazing how food is tied to our memories.
It really is. And even a simple recipe like this has all these layers of experience baked in.
It's true. I'm noticing that even though they're going for speed and ease, they still have you garnish it with parsley.
Oh, yeah.
I gotta confess, I usually skip that step.
Yeah.
Is it really that important? Is it just to make it look pretty?
Well, you might be surprised.
Okay.
A garnish like parsley does more than just add color.
Okay.
It can actually make the dish taste better.
Really?
Yeah, parsley has these subtle flavors
Oh,
that can brighten up the whole dish.
I always thought it was just for decoration.
It's more than that.
So you're saying it actually adds to the flavor?
It does. Yeah, it adds some freshness,
Hmm.
and it can even cut through some of that richness from the casserole.
Oh.
Plus, parsley helps with digestion.
Oh, wow. So it's like a healthy garnish.
Exactly. Little bonus.
Okay, cool. I never knew that about parsley. I'll have to think about that more often.
It's worth it.
So we've got the efficiency, the sensory appeal, the science of cheese, and now the power of a simple garnish.
Right.
It's amazing how much goes into a dish like this that seems so straightforward.
It is. It's the beauty of food traditions.
Mm-hmm.
They change over time. They become practical, but they also incorporate people's preferences.
I like that. And tater tot casserole is such a great example.
Absolutely.
It's like a recipe that's been shared and tweaked for generations.
Mm.
But even with a classic like this, there's still room for people to get creative, right?
Oh, for sure. People always put their own spin on classic recipes.
Like what? How would you change it up?
Well, some people swap out the ground beef for sausage
Okay.
or use a different kind of cheese,
Mm-hmm.
maybe add a layer of vegetables. It's all about making it your own.
Yeah, that's what I love about cooking. You can take a recipe, but still make it yours. Exactly. So if you were going to make your ultimate comfort food casserole, what would it be?
Ooh, that's a good question. I love spicy food.
Okay.
So I'd probably add some roasted poblano peppers.
Oh, nice.
Or maybe even some chorizo for that smoky flavor.
Ooh.
And for the cheese, I'd probably go with a mix of Monterey Jack and Oaxaca cheese.
Okay, stop. You're making me hungry. This sounds so good. And it makes me think, even though we've been focusing on tater pot casserole, all of these ideas can apply to any dish.
That's true. Sensory language, smart use of ingredients, understanding flavor profiles, those are all important.
Yeah. It's like we've unlocked the secrets to making delicious food.
We have.
And I love that we've gone beyond just the recipe itself. Like we talked about the psychology of comfort food, the science of flavor, and even the cultural meaning of this dish.
It's fascinating, right?
It is. It reminds us that food is more than just something to eat.
Right. It connects us to memories, emotions.
And to each other.
Yeah, exactly. Sometimes it's as simple as a warm, cheesy casserole with people you care about.
That's beautiful. But before we wrap up, let's give our listeners something to think about.
Okay.
What should they consider? Well, we've broken down the tater tot casserole. Now it's their turn to get creative.
Yeah?
What are the elements of their ultimate comfort food?
That's a good question.
What flavors make them feel happy?
All about personalizing it, right?
Exactly. What unique twist could they add? Maybe a secret spice blend? Or an ingredient that means something special?
I love it.
Don't be afraid to let your imagination go wild in the kitchen.
You gotta have fun with it.
Because in the end, the best recipes are the ones that tell a story.
That's a great way to put it.
And that story should be yours.
Absolutely. Your own personal touch.
Yeah, I like that. It's all about those personal touches, you know?
It is.
The things that make a dish special. So if you're out there and you're feeling inspired to make your own masterpiece,
Yes.
we want to hear about it.
Definitely. Share your creations with us.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we're on social media.
Let us know what you're cooking.
Yeah. We'd love to see it.
Until next time, then.
Happy cooking, everyone.
Happy cooking.